Hello, Natalie Garcia here. Question 3 of the Excel final practice for QMB 3200. I've got my name and everything's here, and Garcia 72, it's me. I've done a couple of these videos already. For the purposes of this, I'm going to be redoing my work because I do have it here. I've already done the problems. I couldn't figure out how to do the videos beforehand, so I just wanted to at least get the work done. Now I figured out how to do the video, so here it is. The question for question 3 is just to create a frequency table on a double column chart to illustrate the distribution of quality rating rows by gender column. And it's pretty simple once you do it like that. Essentially, you're going to create a pivot table based off of the data that is here on this data tab. Click here, insert pivot table. I'm going to do it into a new worksheet because I would like to not have to have an extra pivot table on my page. Once you have the pivot table, your quality rating, as in the instructions for the question, are going to be the rows. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be gender. The gender is going to be the column. So you're going to go and put the number as values, genders here. That's the other question. So for sheet 9, your number will be values, and it needs to be switched from sum of to count of. And then the gender is the column. This is going to create a frequency table for the, just in general for the versus quality ratings versus the gender, which is what was requested here. And they have a spot for the pivot table. If you look, this pivot table here that I have for my answer does match exactly what was presented here on the second sheet where I was showing you how to come up with that. For the double column chart, to create that, you have to highlight the excellent, you have to highlight from here, male, female, and excellent rows. That needs to be highlighted. Then you're going to go to pivot. You're going to go to pivot analyze and select pivot chart. My face was blocking some of the things I needed to see. Pivot chart. And the first thing it's going to recommend is a clustered column chart, which is what we want. We want a double bar chart, as is explained here, to create the double column chart. And this would be that double column chart, and its quality ratings by gender. So you're going to appropriately label the chart. And quality ratings by gender, axis titles. So you want a horizontal axis. This is just going to be quality rating, and then genders are listed in the legend. So for this, on the answer key, when I was reviewing it, they did have the example bar chart with the values listed on the outside end. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It was not, as far as I see, a requirement to the bar chart. It doesn't say it here to create, it doesn't say anything about that, but it was on the example. So I did it on my original one. So now you can see that the cluster, the column chart that I've got here is matching to the one that I have created here with the instructions of the pivot table and the just inserting the chart through the pivot chart option. When it comes to if the actual answers specifically to the secondary questions, aside from creating the chart and the frequency table, it's if a customer with a good rating is randomly selected, what is the probability that the customer gender is male? The way to find that is you're going to take the total amount of customers with a good rating, and you're going to put that under the total amount that have a good rating and that are male. Because essentially your population in this question is not the total population or not the total sample. It's the smaller sample of just people who have good, because those are the only people being selected. And what is the chance of that smaller sample of just people who have good that they're going to be male? So in this case, it would be 11 over 18, because there's 18 people who got the rating good and only 11 were men. So you're going to go here and you're going to put equals the percentage of men that got the good rating divided by the total of good. And you're gonna get that same 0.61. Once this is different, the next question is different in the sense that it's not a sample, it is just the whole sample that we have of 75. And it's what percentage of the customers in the sample have a poor rating. So that's even easier. You're just gonna go total that have the poor rating divided by the total of the sample, and you're gonna get that same 0.16. This is all for question number 3. There is the column chart here, the pivot table, frequency table there, and then how to get the customer rating that randomly selects customer rating from good rating that is male, and then just a general percentage of customers that have a poor rating from the whole sample in its entirety.